name is Luis. I am originally from Mexico. I've been in Canada for about 10 years now. And right now I am working for an engineering company. I have a long history of depression. I've been diagnosed with mild chronic depression. And that's something that comes and goes. During the pandemic, it was very hard for me because I couldn't socialize as much as I would like to. And then I had a physics degree I was working on, and it was a lot of stress. So I was just completely isolated, and that really hurt my mental health. And that kind of brought me back to counseling. Before I started my depressive episode, I was incredibly fit. I was doing a bodybuilding show. I was doing just straight A's at school. I had a fairly social life, and then I completely isolated myself. I gained over 30 pounds. My mom has always been there for me, so she is kind of like my support. But other than that, at the time, I didn't have anything. Right now I have lots of friends and they know about my story, and even at work we are very close, so they kind of know a little bit about my story. But back then I only had my mom. The moment I knew I needed to get some help was when I started self-harming again. I was very frustrated with my life, and a lot of my problems were coming from me feeling that I didn't have enough control over my life. And doing a few things, getting different perspectives, I started getting more control over my life. Feeling like whenever I cared for something was taken away from me. And it was like, okay, why my relationships, my success at school, the fitness I had that I worked so hard to achieve, and it was all slowly being taken away from me, right? So I was very, very angry, and I had a very bad temper at the time. And it was just of the mentality of, well, why do I put any effort into anything if it's not gonna be good, right? Because things were happening, but I wasn't adapting to the change. And there were many things that I could have done, but at the time I was kind of blind. I explained that to my therapist. It's like, I am just in a room hitting an invisible wall, and I cannot find the way around it, right? And eventually it's like you're seeing the maze from above, and you can just kind of see the path. I don't feel much stigma around it, mostly because, as I said, I had like chronic mild depression, so that's been something that I've been interacting with my whole life. Talking about my feelings and stuff like that, it was fine, but I always needed something more actionable. If I go to therapy, I had, for instance, some counselors that were very focused on how I was feeling. And while that was fine, I still felt the same after. But with some other counselors, I talked about how I felt, but also what things I could do to change things. I participated in the Building Esteem group. By the time I joined the group, I was in a much better place. And it was very, very interesting to me and very useful to be able to compare my life situation and experiences with other people, and kind of how we were doing different things and taking different approaches to improve our self-esteem. I would say the most important one is that I was 100% convinced that there was no way out of it. I was certain that I had reached my limit, and it was just like, okay, I just want to just find some peace, and I was gonna go and kill myself. And it was very surprising to me that there was actually a way out. I think the best advice is to never stop trying new things, because that's eventually what got me out of it. Just keep on fighting and trying different things. Eventually you'll find a way out.